Daily Broadside Day 921. There's a lot of people out there that are born without arms, both arms. And there's some people, I imagine, that were born with one arm and tragically had the other one amputated in an accident or something. But nevertheless, those people exist. And I was wondering last night if any of them smoke, because if they do, I know people that, I don't know them, but I've seen many people without arms that can do amazing things with their feet. It's astounding what you can do with your foot if you get flexible enough, and if you have to, you will. You don't ever see an obese person with no arms. So they've got, I don't know if they're doing yoga or what, but they're very flexible. But you could put a cigarette, I imagine you could figure out a way to open a pack and put a cigarette in your mouth, but the lighter's got to be tricky. A Zippo, a Bic, I can't think. You ain't doing I guess you could do a match. Maybe that would be easier than a lighter. But are these people smoking? Because you could light one on a stove, but if you leave the house, you got to take the stove with you. You can't carry a stove around. That requires a 220 outlet. Nobody has that in their car. Could I plug my oven into your house? It just doesn't make any sense. So I wonder if, especially people that go through amputations, do they just quit smoking, or do you have to have somebody around you all the time? You got a light? That would get a little tedious and all. I watched the Jesse Smollett documentary on Netflix the other day. Why are we stopping in the middle of the road? Two things that I learned from that is, one, as soon as I saw the body cam footage and they walked in the room, he's still wearing the noose. I thought to myself, this dude's lying through his teeth, as I expected. So I don't believe him for a moment. But more to the point, I don't like the name Jussie. It makes me feel weird because I want to say Jesse, and it forces me to throw a U in there that's not supposed to be there. That's a silly name, okay? He should take all that money he made from Empire and change his name legally, because his parents were dumb. I think there should be a more stringent version of whatever body governs amateur wrestling. I've seen 2 videos in the last week of people catching themselves on fire after suplexing themselves onto a burning table or something, and I'm talking about fully engulfed flames. Not good. Got to have some 3rd-degree burns in that situation and all, and that's not good. That's not what you want. You don't want to be on fire ever. That's never going to be a good thing for anybody. And if you've heard the TikTok song, and I'm sure you have if you've been on there anytime, that I got guns in my head and they won't go blah, 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 whatever the words are, But if you push the button and make it go twice as fast, way funnier song. It has a much better ring to it, you know what I mean? What else am I going to talk about? The Tiger King buddy. I don't know if they're buddies, but they knew each other. Guy got mauled by a tiger the other day. He'd been raising as a cub, and apparently he was finger painting with the tiger so that he could give the paw prints to the children who watched his unfortunate demise. And I don't know much about tigers. I know a little bit about big cats, and one of the things that I've surmised is that they don't particularly enjoy finger painting. So that just seems to be a bad idea, all the way around. To dip a tiger's, God, I just couldn't imagine getting. Oh, that's got to be some of those deaths are not quick, because they'll hover over you and play with you and guard you and bite into you. It's not always going to be a quick death. You know what I mean? So you got to consider that when you're raising tigers, or any big cat for that matter. I follow those 2 guys that are always talking about, what would you rather be attacked by, the biggest of the big water buffalo or the biggest of the big, Komodo dragon? And they do all these debates about, stuff like that. And they had one the other day. It was a baboon, a chimp, and a I don't know, it was like a walrus or something like that. And oh man, just thinking about that is a difficult decision to make, because it was an alligator. I think the other one was an alligator, and I'm taking my chances with the alligator, because I feel like I could not run fast in a straight line, but I could zig and zag and get away from it. And you're not outrunning a chimp or a baboon, and if they get their hands on you, they're gonna beat you to shreds with your own implements. But you know, and the alligator's not gonna be fun either, because that thing's just gonna snap off whatever appendage he bites into. But that has got to be, you know, it's kind of like if you've ever had anything traumatic, you know, happen to you. I had a car follow me one time and pin me under the car, and the moment that it happens, it is like the most surrealistic, like crazy experience, like the most adrenaline dump you can imagine. And then you gotta like get your senses and figure out how to get out. Fortunately, I didn't perish in that, because that wouldn't have been good for my life. But it's crazy that like at some point, you know, you're going to perish in this world, and you don't know how it is. But it's kind of exciting to know, you know. I have it down to like, I think it's going to be, for me, I think it's going to be like something crazy, like I fall into like a vat of cooking turkey oil at a factory or something while I'm on a tour, or it's going to be like dementia, you know, something that's just mentally horrible for me, and I guess the other people around me, because it's a wicked disease. That's what I've narrowed it down to. But as much as either one of those sucks, you know, there's always a chance I could fall asleep and just not wake up and, you know, do that little dance out of this earth. But it's kind of exciting to be like, I'm gonna know soon enough. You know, I'm halfway through the century here of my life, and I'm on the downward spiral here. So you know, you got that going for you. But anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. But y'all have a good day, Kitty.